Okay, so this will be all about kind of creating content and branding for your business Instagram. I know a couple weeks ago we had talked about kind of comparing a personal Instagram profile to a business profile, and kind of pros and cons of each. So this is going to be all for if you have a business profile. If you have a personal profile, I think you can do whatever you want to do on it. So this is more business. So a couple of things before you start coming up with your content. Number one would be to have a clear sense of your personal brand. I don't know how many of you were in earlier classes about personal branding, but this is kind of, what your overall feel is for your personal business. So you as a realtor. So if you have specific colors that you like to use in your branding, or certain things about you that you want to convey, or a motto that you use, this is all kind of your personal brand. So when people think about you as a realtor or look at your content, they're automatically going to know, okay, this is Gary, the realtor, or this is Craig, the realtor, and get a sense of your business and kind of what you do. So we can go back into personal brand if you have questions about that. So next would be considering your target audience. So before you start posting anything, you want to think about who is viewing your content, right? So your target audience hopefully would be potential clients or family members or friends or anyone that can spread kind of the word about your business. But just keeping that in mind when you're thinking about content to post, things that they obviously will be interested in, hopefully, should be on your feed. Next, get familiar with some apps that will kind of assist you with your content and make it a little easier for you. So one could be Canva. We went over this last week. That's basically creating graphics. Afterlight is another app that I use personally. It's basically photo editing. I think it costs $1 maybe. When I got it, I think it was $1. Maybe it's $2 now. I don't know. But it's cheap and it has a ton of different settings, so you can edit your photos. You can filter them if you're into that, adjust the brightness or the contrast, just to tweak your photos a little bit to make them look a little nicer. That's a really good app for that. And then a color story is kind of similar. That one you can actually create your own filters kind of and save them. So if you want to edit your photos in the same way, you can create your own filter, save it, and then apply that filter to all your future photos that you take. And then Boomerang, we talked about a little previously. It's just like quick little video photo bursts kind of things. They play on repeat. They're really easy to take and they look cute and fun. So I would check that out. And then Life Lapse, that's like if you're into doing stop motion or time lapse or anything like that, that's a really good app. And there's a million more out there that are all about editing photos or creating content or really anything. There's tons out there. So I would look into some of those if you are really interested in kind of boosting your Instagram and creating really good content or really interesting content, because these are really good resources to assist you. You don't have to do it all on your own. There's a million apps that can help you.
I have a quick question. Do you have any from hometown that we could actually go and look at what their Instagram is? I would love to see some.
Oh yeah. So hometowns, let me look at the name. I haven't posted in probably a week on hometowns. I think we are Hometown Realty VA is our kind of at name on Instagram. So on hometowns, I'm trying to keep it really consistent, and I post new listings of ours. And so basically I go through MLS and I look at all the hometown listings and look for ones that look really nice, really beautiful, or they've been staged really well, or there's some aspect of them that's, I think visually appealing. And so I'll pull photos from that and kind of talk a little bit about, whatever it is that's interesting. So maybe if the door's painted a color, talk about that or stuff like that.
How about an agent? Is there an agent we can go look at? That would help me more, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm trying to think. We have some agents that do really good social media. Tommy Sabiga, he does very good
How do you spell
social
that?
media. It's gonna be Tommy and then Sabiga, Sibiga.
Thank you. I'll go look his up. I think it's good to see samples and kind of draw
Yeah,
yours. Yeah.
definitely. I'll look up some more. We have some agents that are very good at
Okay.
their social media. So I'll kind of dig through and find the best ones.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you.
Because I do think that's really helpful. I always am looking at other people's pages to get ideas. Okay, where were we? Oh, so before you start posting too, you're gonna want to make sure that your Instagram profile is already basically set up, that you have, you know, a profile picture, you have your bio written, that your bio is pretty strong, kind of explains who you are, shows off some personality, how they can contact you if you have a website, you know, that whole thing, kind of what you would write in like an about me section on Facebook. Kind of you want that in your bio. It is limited how many words you can put, so to keep it kind of concise, but you can also use emojis if you're into that, or hashtags if you have a hashtag that you want to use. But yeah, just be sure to kind of show your personality and show what you are all about. You know, don't just put Kat Milbratt, realtor, contact me at this. Like try to add something that, you know, is a little more fun, shows off your personality. And then if you already have an Instagram, I think this is really good to do. Go through and do a quick audit. So kind of look at your photos and say, okay, which of these have gotten the most likes, which have gotten the most comments, what are people already engaging with, and what do those posts have in common? So maybe you posted a picture of food and 50 people liked it, and then you posted one of a house and 20 people liked it. So kind of make note of that, because that'll give you a good sense, you know, of what your followers already enjoy that you're posting, and you can kind of play off that and continue to post in the same, you know, feel. So next we're going to talk about creating a theme with your Instagram. I know this is going to sound really, I don't know, over the top, but the best Instagram pages are themed basically. So that's just something that makes your page feel cohesive, and people will know what to expect from your page. So if you're a food page, people expect you to be sharing pictures of food that are beautiful and interesting, that kind of thing. So there's different ways to create a theme, and we'll kind of go through them. The first is color. So I tried to provide examples so you could get a sense of what I'm talking about. So this Creative and Coffee obviously uses color really strongly in their theme. Hers is pinks, it's light pinks, it's not like hot pink, it's very pale pink. She uses kind of different shades, but every single image incorporates some of that color. So you can do this through graphics, like Canva, you can go on, make graphics. You can see a couple of hers, she has quotes. So not all of hers are photos, she has some photos, and then she also has some graphics. Photographing things of the same color. She does a lot of this too. So she has like the picture of a bed and some of the pillows are pink. And then she has the little Rice Krispie treat things, or maybe that's cake, I don't know. And that's pink. So kind of finding things that are all in the same color scheme, and she incorporates all of them. So all of her photos and all of her posts use kind of the same colors. But when you look at her page as a whole, it's very cohesive. Like you know what to expect, you go on, all of her stuff is pink. So color is a really easy way to have a theme. And you can see her what she posts and her content of her photos is all different. So that's not necessarily cohesive, but it all incorporates pink, and that's what makes it a theme. So next would be topic. So this example is food. So everything they photograph is food. The photos are really nice, really beautiful. The food looks delicious, but her whole page is just about food. And that's kind of the topic she centers around. So some other ones might be like travel pages or I don't know, just any topic. For you, I guess it could be real estate if you would like to do that, but really anything. Next would be a story. So this is an example. I don't know if you guys know HD Bros. They do real estate photography. They're based in Virginia. And so they have an HD Bros page, which is all of their like real estate photography. And then this is HD Bros Riley. So this is one of their dogs, and they've made a page for him. And so this kind of just follows the dog, and they dress him up in different things, but it's all about his life and his story. And they kind of share that. So they have 2 pages with different topics. So I said just sharing an ongoing story of something. So this could be, you know, your life as a realtor. This could be your kids if you want to focus on that. If you're renovating your house, say, kind of going through that process. Anything that's kind of taking your followers kind of on a journey with you, makes them feel involved, engaged in, you know, your life or whatever you're focusing on. Next would be a specific angle. This sounds weird, but this is like they shoot every photo from the same angle. So this guy, I think it's him and his wife. They're really famous. They've kind of built their whole Instagram based on these photos where she's leading him. So he always shoots it from his point of view with her in front. So this would be kind of, you know, if you always shoot something looking down, say you have a plate of food and you shoot it looking down, and then all your photos are like that. That's another way to kind of make a theme. I think it's cool. I think it can get a little repetitive, but it's an easy way to be cohesive and have a theme. Yes, and so just remember that your theme does not have to be real estate necessarily. So your theme does not have to be, you know, homes or something. Your Instagram really is just to have a presence online and to give kind of people kind of a sense of who you are, you know. So it doesn't, if you don't want to post photos of houses every day, that's very acceptable. You just need to have something so that when people do go look you up, they say, oh, okay, you know, he's a real person, he has an Instagram page, he's a realtor, this is what he's kind of about. So I said, think about why you like being a realtor and how you can express that visually. So if you're in it because you really like meeting people or you really like helping people, you know, try to focus on that in your posts instead of, you know, posting a photo of a house. Focus on the human aspect, the people that you are meeting, their stories kind of. If you're really into, like, I don't know, new construction and you're really interested in that, then focus on that. Just, you know, it doesn't have to be broad, overarching real estate. It can be whatever you find meaningful within the industry. And I think people will connect with that a little better than just, you know, 15 photos of houses that say just listed. It kind of gives people a better sense of like why you're in this industry, what you like about it, and why they should work with you. So here's some ways that you can create a successful theme. Number one would be edit your photos kind of in a similar way. So we talked about a lot of those photo editing apps and filters and presets. If you start with the same filter for each photo that you take, that'll automatically give you one way to make your page really cohesive. And you can kind of tweak them and adjust them if you need to, but overall, it'll all kind of look similar. So this is a page on the right. She's done that. She uses basically the same filter for all of her pictures. And you can see it kind of has the same tone throughout her page when you scroll down and look at them. Next would be take your photos at the same time of day, not the exact same time, but if you take all your photos in the daytime, don't, you know, one day switch to taking at night. I would say aim to always take your photos in the daytime because night photos are very hard to pull off. And also, what are you doing at night? I don't know. But, so like if you want warmer photos, maybe take them in the evening during golden hour. If you want really bright photos, maybe take them in the morning, that kind of thing. Just try to keep that consistent because lighting does change throughout the day. So if you want them to look kind of similar, try to take them at the same time of day. I know that sounds very specific, but hopefully it will help. Next, let your content reflect your real life. You know, so if you're having kind of a boring day or you're just staying in the office, it's okay to post about that or post a picture of your coffee or something. It doesn't have to be, you know, every day is exciting and thrilling or every single post has to be something crazy. It should be, you know, a reflection of what you're really doing. And that kind of goes hand in hand with that authenticity that we've been talking about. You know, don't try and make your Instagram something that your real life is not. People want to get to know you and who you are. And then determine a personality for your Instagram. I know this sounds silly, but it should reflect your brand, and that can be in your color palette or your tone when you're writing your captions or something. So maybe you're really, you know, optimistic and cheery, then maybe you're using brighter colors and more emojis and exclamation points. If you're a little more serious, a little more quiet, you know, maybe using black and white or muted colors, less emojis, that kind of thing. So just, you know, your social media has a personality just like you do. Just try to make sure that it matches what your brand is and kind of who you are. And so when you're creating your content, I talked about this in the past too, quality over quantity for everything, especially for Instagram. Facebook, it's important too, but definitely Instagram. It's better to have really high quality, thoughtful posts than say 5 posts in a day. Maybe you only post twice a week, but they're really good. You've thought about them, you think people will really enjoy them. It's much better than having a post every single day that no one's engaging with because it's not interesting or it's boring. So it's better to post less and have better content than post more and have boring, uninteresting content. Photos need to be high resolution. Instagram is so visual, it's important that your photos look good. But this doesn't mean that you need to have a real camera. A phone is totally fine. Just make sure they're not blurry, that you have lighting. Photos shot outside look better than one shot inside. The lighting's just better outside. But just as long as they're bright, they're not blurry, that's fine. That's all you really need. Just make sure you're not taking photos and they all end up, you know, with your thumb in them or blurry or too dark so you can't see anything. Just make sure that they're high resolution enough for people to understand what's going on. Use a program like Canva. We talked about that. Creating graphics is so easy. There's a million ways. Share content from other users if it kind of works with your brand. So this is really good too. This is something John Fair does a lot on his Instagram. He shares a lot of kind of local content. So, you know, Izzy's Kitchen here in Richmond, if they post a thing with food, he'll kind of borrow that and post it on his own and say like, oh, look, Izzy's Kitchen is now open for patio dining or something that, you know, he wants to share with his followers. So that's really fine too, if it kind of matches what you're going for and you think your followers would be interested in it. You can definitely borrow content from other people. I'd say always tag them and let them know, obviously, that you're using their content. But that's a really good way if you're kind of stuck on something, you can borrow other people's. And then don't forget to be authentic. So don't over edit your photos and don't try to make your Instagram represent something that you're not. So don't, you know, start a travel Instagram if you're not traveling every day, something like that. So yeah, just kind of let it represent your real life. And that will be fine. That's enough. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. So here are a couple tips for shooting photos on a phone, because I think that's what we'll all be doing. Natural lighting always looks better. So if you can be outside, try to be outside because that lighting looks better. Or if you're inside, open up the windows and get as much light as you possibly can. Get closer to your subject rather than zooming in. So if you're shooting a person, get as close to them as possible to try to get a good shot rather than standing 10 feet away and zooming in, just because the quality will be better. Avoid using flash. Flash just looks bad. It makes it very harsh contrast. Clean your phone's lens. I need to do this definitely, but just you know, be sure to wipe down your phone before you start shooting photos. If you have a microfiber cloth, you can use that. Just, you know, wipe it down. And then use the grid feature for better composition of your photos. This is something I feel like they should have on Android, but they definitely have it on iPhone if you have an iPhone. You can go in your settings and you can turn the grid on. So this will bring up, I think, like 9 boxes, and will kind of show you where things are centered in your photo. So if you want something dead center, it will help you place it in that center box. So that's a really easy, helpful tool to use. And I shared this on the right, this screenshot of an Instagram, because I thought this one shows a lot of personality. So this one's really bright colors, kind of whimsical. They don't necessarily follow a specific color palette, but it's very bright and it shows off kind of a lot of what they like and what they're interested in. So I thought that was cool to share. And then hashtags. This is another, I'd say I would call this content, but another really good way to help people find your page. So I don't know if you guys know how hashtags work, but basically it's kind of like, I don't know, like a bucket. So you say I hashtag real estate, you can click on it and it will take you to every single public post with that hashtag. So it kind of groups things into categories, if that makes sense. So if you're trying to find Instagram posts about real estate, you can click on that hashtag and it will take you to just a whole page full of other posts about real estate that have used that hashtag. So this is helpful because say you're, you know, trying to reach an audience that's really into, I don't know, polka dots. So you hashtag like something polka dot, and then random people can find it. Anyone on Instagram can find it and maybe follow you or like your photo or engage with you somehow. So for real estate, maybe, you know, you're interested in like real estate Richmond. So when people click on that hashtag, if you've tagged that in your post, they'll be able to see your post. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best place to put hashtags is actually in the first comment below your photo. So you kind of want to write your caption. You can include maybe 1 or 2, but make your caption, you know, represent your photo, add to your photo. And then once you posted it, go in and comment underneath your own photo and include all the hashtags that you want to. This is just helpful because people, if you write it in your caption, people will look at it and think, oh, it's kind of spammy, like they're desperate, they're trying to get people to find their content. But if you put it in that first comment, people, most of the time it doesn't pop up, like it'll just say 1 comment and they'd have to click to actually read it. But you still get all the benefits of using the hashtags. So I would say always go in and kind of comment under your own photo and put a bunch of hashtags. I think the limit is 30 maybe per a comment or per photo. Use Hashtagify. This is a website, maybe they have that, but it's a website. And basically it will help you find hashtags kind of related to what you're looking for. So if you're looking for hashtags about real estate, it will help you come up with some hashtags that maybe are a little more specific than you were thinking of. So it's really helpful. If you're tired of brainstorming hashtags, you can go on and do an easy search on Hashtagify, and it will help you come up with some. So posts that have at least 1 hashtag get 12% higher engagement. So it's kind of like, why are we talking about hashtags? Why are we worrying about that? Because they work, essentially. So that's the higher engagement comes from people finding your posts, the people that don't follow you. And then they're liking and engaging with your posts rather than just your normal followers too. And then try to use a wide variety of hashtags to reach several different audiences. So this is an example I gave. So it starts with like hashtag real estate, then it goes into kitchen goals, fresh paint, backsplash, cooking at home, pizza for dinner. So these kind of all hit different things. Real estate hits people that are interested in real estate, whereas pizza for dinner hits people maybe that are into cooking a little more. So you're kind of targeting different groups with your different hashtags, if that makes sense. So that way you can reach all different types of people. You're not just reaching people solely interested in, backsplash or solely interested in cooking at home. It's kind of hitting different audiences. And then last but not least, telling a story through Instagram. So this is an example, Humans of New York. I don't know if you guys have heard them. They're very famous. But basically what he does is he takes portraits of people and then shares, kind of their story that they've told him through an interview. And his portraits, they're beautiful, but his page is really more about the story. It's not so much about the photos. So I don't know. At the end of the day, it's all about building those connections. And Humans of New York is really good at this because people feel personally connected to these stories. And that's why they follow the page to kind of learn about other people. And this could be the same for you. So use your content to tell some type of story. So this could be a story about your clients, kind of how they ended up here, how they got here, why they're buying a home, that kind of thing. It could be about you, maybe your journey as a realtor. It could be about your family, it could be about where you live, kind of anything. But people love storytelling and people respond to storytelling really well, and it's really engaging. And so I said adding a story kind of in your caption can turn, a lower quality image, maybe something that on the surface doesn't look that interesting. So say it's a picture of your coffee cup, but then you include a story kind of, with the background or what you're doing that day, and that turns into something meaningful. It turns into something interesting that people want to engage with. And then finally, stories are a really good way to show off your personality and kind of show that you're human, right? So that's all we're trying to convey here on social media, is basically a representation of us, hopefully. And so stories are a really good way to do that. We tell stories all day in real life, so why not take that to our social media too? And because that's kind of what relationships are based on. So I would really try to, it doesn't have to be crazy long-winded, like Humans of New York, theirs can be very long, but yours don't have to be that long. It could be a 3-sentence story, just beginning, middle, end, some type of story to get your audience interested. Okay, and that's all I have for today. Do you have any questions? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Are you talking, Clay? Did you say I'm trying? We can't hear you. You can type it in the chat if you'd like. So the chat should be kind of at the bottom. Okay, he's typing. Sounds good. And I'll send these slides out too after this. Okay, let's see. Oh, you need a high-res hometown graphic. Okay, I got you.
Two.
Last, I don't know what it was, Monday maybe, I sent out an email to a bunch of people with like maybe 10 different graphics in it, like hometown logos, realtor logo, equal housing logo, all those things. So I can send that out to you guys as well. And a larger personal sign. What do you mean by that? What kind of personal sign? I don't know. I guess you step it. Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay, cool. Anyone else have other questions or concerns or needs help setting up an Instagram?
Hey,
Anything?
Kat, I may be calling you. I've never used Instagram. I've been
Okay.
in IT. I've been in IT for 40 years and have never used Instagram.
Wow.
So yeah, I may be contacting you.
Okay. I think it's probably the easiest of social media to use, to be
I've
honest.
set up my business already on there, but
Okay.
yeah, I haven't really used it yet. Thank you
Okay,
though.
cool. Yeah, definitely. You can call me anytime. So, okay, well, cool. If there's no questions, I think we can call it a day. I will send out probably in 5 minutes an email with these slides, and then I'll attach all of the logos too, so you can have those. Yeah, and feel free to email me or call me anytime. Call the Carytown office. I'm always here. So,
Thank
okay,
you,
well, have a
Kat.
good weekend.
You too.
Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.